I'm just trying to, I got what I was trying to do. Omagana Timanandasya Ganam Tilakaya Chaksurmilitanyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Padakam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sajjatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahita Krishna Chaitanya Deva Krishna Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitam Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, 21:31. Did you choose this or this came up?
No, we're good.
Really? Auspicious. Ketva Dayam Cha Jiveshu Dattva Chabhayam Atmavan Maya Mayi Atmanam Saha Jagat Dakshayasi Atmani Chapi Ma Kitvadayam Cha Jiveshu Dattva Chabhayam Atmavan Mai Atmanam Saha Jagat Dakshayas Yatmani Chapiham Maham Chapimam Kitvadayam Cha Jiveshu Dattva Chabhayam Atmavan Mayatmanam Saha Jagat Dakshayasi Atmani Chapimam. Okay. Anything else?
Vitvadayam cha jiveshu Dattva chabhayam atmavan Mai atmanam sahajaga Vrikshasi atmani chapimam
Anything else? Okay. Vitvadayam Cha Jiveshu Atmavan
Vai Atmanam Saha Jagat
Mai atmanam sahajaga
Rakshashi Atmani Chapimam
Dakshayasi Atmani Chapimam. Kitva, having shown, Dayam, compassion, Cha, and Jiveshu, toward living beings, Dattva, having given, Cha, and Abhayam, assurance of safety,
assurance of safety,
Atmavan,
Atmavan,
self-restraint, self-realized,
self-realized,
Maya,
mind,
in me,
and me,
Atmanam,
Atmanam,
yourself,
yourself,
Sahajagat,
Sahajaga,
along with the universe,
along with the universe,
Dakshasi,
Dakshasi,
you will perceive,
you will perceive
Atmani,
Atmani,
in yourself,
in yourself,
Cha,
Cha
and
and
Api,
Api,
also,
also,
Mam,
Mam,
me.
Me.
Translation. Showing compassion to all living entities, you will attain self-realization. Giving assurance of safety to all, you will perceive your own self, as well as all the universes in me, and myself in you. Amazing. Purport. So I calculate if there's very long purport, then this is a very, auspicious and important verse. So this is 3 pages. It's quite long, compared. This is Manu and Cardinal. So this is before marriage, right?
yes,
He's predicting the future. The simple process of self-realization for every living entity is described here. The first principle to be understood is that this world is a product of the Supreme World. There is an identity in this world with the Supreme Lord. This identity is accepted in a misconceived way by the impersonalists. They say the Supreme Absolute Truth, transforming himself into the universe, loses its separate existence. Thus they accept the world and everything in it to be the Lord. This is pantheism, wherein everything is considered to be the Lord. This is the view of the impersonalists. That those who are personal devotees of the Lord take everything to be the property of the Supreme Lord. Everything, whatever we see, is a manifestation of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, everything should be engaged in the service of the Lord. This is oneness. The difference between the impersonalist and the personalist is that the impersonalist does not accept the separate existence of the Lord. But the personalist accepts the Lord. He understands that although he distributes himself in many ways, he has a separate personal existence. This is described in Bhagavad Gita. I am spread all over the universe in my impersonal form. Everything is resting in me, but I'm not present. That's from chapter 9, a series of verses. And that's actually the essence of it is given by Lord Chaitanya. Simultaneously one and different. There's a nice example regarding the sun and the sunshine. The sun, by its sunshine, is spread all over the universe, and all the planets rest on the sunshine. But all the planets are different from the sun planet. One cannot say that because the planets are resting on the sunshine, these planets are also the sun. Similarly, the impersonal or pantheistic view that everything is God is not very intelligent or bold. The real position is explained by the Lord himself, is that although nothing can rest without him, nothing can exist without him. It's not a fact that everything is him. He is different from everything. So here also the Lord says, you will see everything in the world to be non-different from me. This means that everything should be considered a product of the Lord's energy. Therefore, everything should be employed in the service of the Lord. One's energy should be utilized for one's self-interest. This is the perfection of the energy. Actually, this is the Lord speaking. Vishnu came and told him, predicting, telling him that Manu is gonna come. So the Mayavadis, they say it's like, because he's expanded everywhere, that first it was only the Lord, now there's all the universe, so therefore the Lord is individually doesn't exist anymore. And they give example, it's like a cake or pie. It's something easy for the devotees to understand. Pizza. So you have the whole thing, and then you cut it up and you distribute it around. Then you don't, the whole thing doesn't, the one thing doesn't exist anymore. They're all different. They're not understanding inconceivable potencies of the Lord. Simultaneously one, inconceivably, simultaneously one and different. This is, like I said, chapter 9 of the Bhagavad Gita, starting with Mayata Tamiyam Sarvam Jagat Vatstani Sarvabhutani Chahante Sadasatam. That's the verses that explain this. Lord Chaitanya summarized it, and Jiva Goswami stressed, we don't accept the inconceivable potencies of the Lord, then we can't understand anything. But if we say that, the materialistic people will say, well, that's not explaining things, because they don't understand the inconceivable potencies of the Lord, so they think you have to explain it conceivably. But you can't explain the inconceivable thing conceivably. You have to accept it as inconceivable. One girl wrote to me, and she said, it sounded respectful, are the stories in about Krishna and the Puranas and stuff, are they myth? And I said, no, they're true, they're fact. And I asked her something, and she said she follows some Advaitavad or something like that. And then she wrote back and said, you are wrong. It's a myth, but they're not true. They're just stories. But supposedly they believe in God, they believe in something. They think that anything that there's a person is just some mythology, something can't possibly be true. So to be one with the Lord means to represent the Lord and try to do what He's doing, try to teach about Him. Not that you are Lord, like some Mayavadis think me, when Krishna says me, it means them. So they meditate, Soham, I am. Krishna says, but when Krishna says aham and Bhagavad Gita, aham, and me, and my, so many times, and He's not just saying it. He means that person, that Krishna that we see. He tells Krishna, tells Arjuna, you can't know me as I am, standing here before you. He's talking about that Krishna. The Mayavadi will say, he doesn't mean that. If you think he means that, you're just crazy. He means it's something else far away. That's why Prabhupada is so mad about the Mayavadi interpretation. Something else beyond him that he's, Krishna's like they say a hologram or something. It's not really real, it's just representing some unknown voidless thing. Next sentence, per paragraph. This energy can be utilized for real self-interest if one is compassionate. A person in Krishna consciousness, the devotee of the Lord, is always compassionate. He is not satisfied that only he himself is a devotee, but he tries to distribute the knowledge of devotional service to everyone. There are many devotees of the Lord who face many risks in distributing devotional service to the Lord to people in general. That should be done. And Prabhupada did that, and many devotees are inspired by that. And so we find that knowledge being distributed more and more and more. And people knowing about Krishna now, knowing about Bhagavad Gita, looking for Bhagavad Gita. And even in America, devotees used to question, well, we've distributed so many books and what's the use? You know, now people are coming, but book distributor meeting, so many people say, oh yeah, I'm looking for this. Thank you so much. You know, nobody before, they just wondered, they would say, okay, I'm curious because you tell me it's something special. Very rare to meet someone who heard of it before. But now, so many people heard of it. They're looking for, not only that, but they're looking for it. And is always compassionate. Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, Kabhi Jiva Doya. When that compassion, Yajasukha Bhuli, Kodyavidoya, when in my heart will I not have thinking of my own comfort and my own convenience and myself, and I'll have compassion for all the communities. Then I can set out in a humble state of mind to preach the glories of the Lord. I'm just not able to, compassion is not able to tolerate seeing other people suffering. Devotees know that the root cause of the suffering, and that people that apparently are not suffering think they're enjoying so much in the material, they're suffering the most. So if we can avoid being envious of them because they have so much opulence, they have their money, they have their nice house, cars, seemingly friends, but they're actually they know they're suffering, so they like to hear about others suffering. Devotees can't tolerate to hear about others suffering. We see so many sad songs, disaster movies, you know, the news is all bad news about all the trouble in the world. Some of the, at least I think it still is in America, one of the most popular TV shows for years has been, it's called ER, Emergency Room. You know, so it's just one crisis after another, panic after another, some people coming into the emergency room. They even had one that's real emergency, live, not just actors. I think people like the actors one better because they create more far out emergencies. Doctors express themselves. The doctors are also having love affairs and everything. But people like to see that. Of course, then the illusion that, you know, it's okay, they'll save you, Krishna, hospital will save you. We can utilize for our own self-interest if we try to represent the Lord and give this knowledge. It is said that a person who goes to the temple of the Lord and worships with great devotion, but who does not show sympathy to people in general, or show respect to other devotees, is considered to be third class. That's Kanishya. He's thinking, these other devotees are all fake, I'm the only real devotee. I don't have to go to the temple because I'm worshiping by myself so nicely. And the other devotees are not good devotees. I don't want to get contaminated by them. There are devotees. The second class devotee is he who is merciful and compassionate to the fallen soul. The second class devotee is always cognizant of his position as an eternal servant of the Lord, therefore makes friendship with devotees of the Lord, acts compassionately toward the general public in teaching and devotion service, and refuses to cooperate or associate with non-devotees. As long as one is not compassionate to people in general, in his devotional service to the Lord, he is a third-class devotee. The first-class devotee gives assurance to every living being that there is no fear in the material world. Let us live in Krishna consciousness and conquer the nations of material existence. And that's described in detail by Kapila and other places in this canto. The different classes of devotees. And how, one can be chanting in the mode of ignorance even. That, when we first heard that, we were questioning, how can that be? It's not that the mantra is in the mode of ignorance, or Krishna is in the mode of ignorance, but the devotee is in the mode of ignorance because he's thinking, I'm better than all the other devotees. Can chant in the mode of passion, I want to get something. Material gain from chanting. It's like material pride. That's passion. Mode of goodness is out of duty, we're supposed to worship the Lord. And transcendence is recommended, and that's what Lord Chaitanya gave us, just for the pleasure of the Lord, the pleasure of the spiritual master. And the more one becomes compassionate, our preaching will have an effect. And I've seen that's the case of a doctor even. If he's actually compassionate, he actually really cares about healing the patient, his treatment will have a good effect. And if he's just, cold-hearted and he's doing it for business, it won't have so much effect, even though it's the same treatment. When we're preaching and we really want people to get Krishna, we want them to get that higher pleasure so they can give up the lower pleasure. Then it has effect. Kirtan, same thing. We're chanting for the pleasure of the Lord. We want other people to chant. Prabhupada had high realization, so he could go to America and he'd become very happy to see anybody chanting. He never thought, well, these are lectures, or these people are intoxicated, these people are, crazy. As long as they were chanting, he was very happy, and he would pray to Krishna to help them. And we see the effect in others, millions of devotees. Others couldn't do that. Others thought you can only preach to Brahmanas. You preach to born practicing Brahmanas, you can chant the holy name. The scripture says different, Lord Chaitanya said, give it to everyone. Next paragraph. It is indicated here that Kardama Muni was directed by the Lord to be very compassionate and liberal in his household life, and to give assurance to the people who renounced life. Sannyasi, one who has renounced order of life, is meant to give enlightenment to the people. He should travel, going from home to home to enlighten. The householder, by the spell of Maya, becomes absorbed in family affairs and forgets his relationship with Krishna. If he dies in forgetfulness, like the cats and dogs, then his life is spoiled. It is the duty of a sannyasi, therefore, to go and awaken the forgetful souls with enlightenment in their eternal relationship with the Lord, and to engage them in devotional service. The devotee should show mercy to the fallen souls, and also give them the assurance of fearlessness. As soon as one becomes a devotee of the Lord, he is convinced that he is protected by the Lord. Fear itself is afraid of the Lord. Therefore, what has he to do with fearfulness? That's one of the questions Kunti, that fear itself is afraid of Krishna, so how could he be afraid of his mother? That's the mystery. So my advice is to say it's just stories and it's not true. The devotees know it's true. And Krishna is not just pretending for the sake of his story. He fully takes that role and experiences ecstasy. But at the same time, he's still the Supreme Lord. doesn't think I am the Supreme Lord. He doesn't let Mother Yasoda think. She really thinks this is my baby. So her prema is higher than Devaki. That's why she got all the association of Krishna as a baby, but Devaki didn't get her. Because she still had some awe and reverence. They knew that this was, before our Vishnu and Vasudeva and Devaki was still offering all kinds of prayers like that. So we're meant to give enlightenment to the householders. They get entangled and it's very difficult. Some of you have experienced. I just heard yesterday Radhanath Swami was saying how many, he has a huge householder community. So they come to him and he said, many come and they say, we have this special problem. What to do? He said, but they all think it's my problem and no one else has. He said, everyone has the same problem. The wife says, my husband doesn't care about me. And then he asked the husband, I said, yes, I do care about her. I give her money, I work hard, I'm giving her money, I'm giving her a house, all these things. She said, but he doesn't care about me. He never appreciate anything I do, he never. And he says, yes, I do. I said, would you ever tell her that? No, she should know that. I give money, I work hard. And some of these people, practically, they're never home. They're working so. And the children, there's an incident that sometimes they talk about children, they're arrested, they did some heinous crime. They come from a very rich family. And they say, my father never talked to me. He just gave me money. Sometimes that's why you see these kids sometimes driving Mercedes and Ferraris. But their father never talked to them. Never, played ball with them or anything. Never helped them to ask them how they're doing in school and what's going on in their life. Because they're just thinking money, they're programmed so much that money is everything that they just can't understand. I had experience at one householder too. I know the wife, and I said, she's feeling lonely. That you're not around, and she thinks her son needs you. I give her money. There's no problem. I'm working hard, and which is true. Working really hard, crazy hard to send money, but not visiting because it's another country. So this is Kali Yuga. Somehow or other, we just get bewildered about this. Right? And the Bhagavad Gita says all food comes from rain. And everything comes from water, actually. Without water, what can we do? Water ultimately is coming from rain. Something about coming from underground, but if it doesn't rain, that might dry up. But rain comes from yagya. So the food, by yagya, you get everything. But nowadays, people think, you have to buy the food. They don't ever see it growing. City people, they have no idea where anything comes from except from the market. And you have to have money to get it. So they do yagya for money. They don't do yagya for the benefit of the world. They just want money. And so that's another passion. They do charity, they do yagya, they do anything. Thinking if I get money, everything will be solved. I can buy water. Water is for sale now in the market. Right? So you don't need rivers or anything. You can buy it in the market. And food is in the market. And they don't know even how many people work to produce that food. Some people, but many people don't. They have no idea. They just think money. And they think by working hard and getting money, everything is solved. Health comes from money because the hospital costs money, doctors cost, medicine costs money. You need money. And they get bewildered. I gotta get money, money, money. Then I can worship Krishna if I have money. Because if I give a donation, I'll be respected that I gave money. Otherwise, what can I do? No, it's all coming from Krishna anyway. So it's a big bewilderment. And that's why devotees accept donations, because people don't know anything else. But if they give a little bit of their money, and we use it for Krishna, they get so much benefit. And for some people, it may be that when they give the money, they're giving up some sense gratification. For many people, though, they give what looks like a lot of money, but it doesn't affect their sense gratification. It's only for yajante nama yagnaste. I'll do some yoga in name only, and then I'll get a good reputation. And I'll get more money. Okay. To award fearlessness to the common man is the greatest act of charity. The sannyasi, or one who is in the renounced order of life, should wander from door to door, from village to village, from town to town, and from country to country, all over the world as far as he is able to travel, and enlighten the householders about Krishna consciousness. A person who is a householder, but is initiated by a sannyasi, has the duty to spread Krishna consciousness at home as far as possible. He should call his friends and neighbors to his house and hold classes in Krishna consciousness. Holding a class means chanting the holy name of Krishna and speaking from Bhagavad Gita or Srimada Bhagavatam. There are immense literatures for spreading Krishna consciousness. It is the duty of each and every householder to learn about Krishna from his sannyasi spiritual master. There is a division of labor in Krishna's service. The household money householder's duty is to earn money, because the sannyasi is not supposed to earn money, but is completely dependent on the householder. The householder should earn money by business, by profession, and spend at least 50% of his income to spread Krishna consciousness. 25% he can spend for his family, and 25% he should save to meet emergency. This was shown by Rupa Goswami, so the devotees should follow. That's one that's questioned a lot of discussion has been done. Because nowadays, in many countries, a householder has to spend more than 50% of his income just on a house, just for rent or mortgage. And they don't really have any extra money. But if they use their house for preaching, or they go out preaching, then they're using their opulence. They're using what they have. But if they have extra money, and Rupa Goswami was very, very rich, and that's when he retired. He gave 50%, and he kept 25% for the emergencies, which all got used up also to get Sanatana Goswami out of the prison. So, but give as much as you can. But give your life, initiate what you're supposed to give their life. So if they're giving their energy for preaching and doing whatever they can, and so many devotees have people in their house, or they go out from their house to other people's houses and they preach like sannyasis. So therefore they're using everything 100% for Krishna. We should really give 100%, but that's how we do it. Not that you give all your money and live on the side of the street. But, I just saw a little quote from the Srimada Bhagavatam. Class is my views. Renunciation is not just giving away everything. It's a state of mind. It's knowing that this all belongs to Krishna. So thinking, how can I use it for Krishna? That's what the Bhagavad Gita says. Real renunciation means knowing everything belongs to Krishna. Everything is meant for Krishna's service. Nothing is be mine. The Bhagavatam says in many places it's Mahamameti, Mohamameti, that this is Maya, the symptom of Maya, saying that it is I and it is mine. And that comes, if we get entangled. You have to work hard. Kumsastriya Maitani Bhavamita, Topidaya Grantimaya. It begins with the attraction of man to woman, and then the knots in the heart, and then we have the Takriyakshitas, Adaptavita, Janasya Moho Yamamamiti. And then we get entangled with house and children, and all the different things that go with it. And think this is mine, it's mine, but to know it's Krishna's. So we use it for Krishna. After they have Krishna in the house, they offer everything to Krishna. Chant Hare Krishna in the house, use it for, if you can, invite people to your house, have house programs. Then it's giving everything to Krishna. That's not very difficult. Chant Hare Krishna and read Bhagavad Gita. Give people Bhagavad Gita. I was just reading another Gita Mahatmya that I've never seen before. That would be in the database. There's a whole thing about the value of giving the Bhagavad Gita as a gift. So valuable activity. Teaching Bhagavad Gita, speaking Bhagavad Gita, reciting even half of a verse, and if one can remember Bhagavad Gita at the time of death, go to the highest destination. Otherwise, if he's just reciting Bhagavad Gita, after one chapter, one verse, he can go to different heavenly planets. So many things are there. It's so important. No need to read any of the other Puranas, Vedas. Bhagavad Purana, you should read. That's Krishna. Bhagavad Gita is Krishna. No difference. Last term. Actually, to be one with the Supreme Lord means to be one with the interest of the Lord. Becoming one with the Lord does not imply becoming as great as the Supreme Lord. That's impossible. The part is never equal to the whole. The living entity is always a minute part. Therefore, his oneness with the Lord is that he is interested in the one interest of the Lord. The Lord wants every living entity to always think about him, to be his devotee, and always worship him. This is clearly stated in Bhagavad Gita. Manmana bhavamat bhakta. Krishna wants everyone always to think of him. Everyone should always offer obeisances to Krishna. This is the will of the Supreme Lord, and devotees should try to fulfill his desire. Since the Lord is unlimited, his desire is also unlimited. There is no stoppage, therefore the service of the devotee is also unlimited. In the transcendental world, there is unlimited competition between the Lord and the servant. The Lord wants to fulfill his desires unlimitedly, and the devotee also wants him to fulfill his unlimited desires. And that his means Krishna. The devotee serves him to fulfill his unlimited desires. There's an unlimited oneness of interest between the Lord and his devotees. So that competition means Krishna, the devotee realizes Krishna is giving me everything. So he's trying to do some service to pay back. But then Krishna thinks, this devotee is serving me, I have to do more for him. And then the devotee thinks, now I have to do more for Krishna. And it just grows and grows and grows. That's real transcendental mentality. And that should be in all levels with anyone. That's real gratitude, real. We want to give back something better to him. So like you see, good people, they become very dedicated to their old parents and take care of them, even though they become, completely crippled and they have to carry them to the toilet and they have to clean up and they have to bathe them and they have to put up with them not remembering anything when they have Alzheimer's disease. But because they know their parents did that for them, and it comes around. Other people, they don't want to bother. Why should I? I have my own life. Demons. And that's becoming probably even more and more common. And someone else pay, or I just get money and let someone else pay, take care of them. And sometimes because Kali Yuga, people become so helpless that you can't take care of them, even they need hospital constantly or something. But people are like that. They want to help anyone who helps them, they feel obliged. Even like people pay their taxes because they figure the government is providing so much. The people don't think, well, the government's not doing anything for me, why should I pay taxes? But they don't realize why they have running water, and why they have electricity, and why there's a road, why there's not thieves dominating the environment. Because the government is supplying all that takes tax money. Pious people donate to the temple because they know that the temple is doing something good for the world. But then nowadays, Kali Yuga, they've seen so many corrupt priests that they don't trust anyone. They don't trust anybody. So we have to be openly very good and teach us compassion and try to become compassionate. They just cannot tolerate to see people properly have that unlimited compassion. So we can preach to anyone and everyone. He keep giving us bigger and bigger vision, plans how to reach out to the people. So he created not only books, but he created a whole society to distribute the books, and created places where the boys could come and practice and learn how to serve Krishna. Very, very important. Okay? So, any question or comments?
I said in the class that the Kanishta, the chanting is also in the 3 modes, right?
Yeah, it can be.
And then I said that the mode of ignorance is staying at home and thinking you are a better devotee or something. If you think you're a better devotee than others, that's in ignorance.
Yeah.
And then in the mode of passion is when you ask for material desires. Right?
Yeah, give me Krishna.
So asking for material desire is seemingly better than actually not associating with devotees.
Yeah. Well, yeah, if they're thinking that I am the greatest devotee and all the other devotees are no good, that's the Mahakanishta. So I don't want to associate with them. It even says in the scripture, they think the other devotees, they're not real devotees, they're just doing it, as a business. And I'm the real devotee. And I'm offering all my food and I eat all my prasad, but they don't distribute any prasad. I read the Bhagavad Gita, but they don't distribute it, they don't care about it. They're thinking everyone else is stupid anyway, they can't understand, only we can understand. That's it. Too much. So if someone comes up a little bit, they may be, participating, but they're thinking, Krishna, give me, give me, give me. Make me, So that's the passion. When the goodness is okay, like many nice Hindus, they go to the temple, they get some donation. They don't practice anything. You're not seeking anything else, but at least you're not particularly, you're just doing it because you're supposed to do it. But then transcendence is doing it for Krishna's pleasure, trying to satisfy Krishna. That's the higher thing. From goodness, it can come to that.
Chanting for liberation is also in goodness.
This manifesting, chanting for liberation, still I think passion.
Compassion.
Yeah, because it is considered by Vaishnavas to be a very terrible thing. Merging that kind of liberation. Real liberation is serving Krishna, being in the spiritual world. The liberation they're thinking of is void, nothing, merging, just giving up material pain. So, Srinivasa Acharya and Goswami Astakam. Shri Gauranga Gunana Nana Varino Shadha Samrityanvito Papo Tapa Nikirtano Tatuvitam Govinda Ganamrita. That the Goswamis, they're worshipping Lord Chaitanya and they're expert at relieving people from their sins by singing and giving them songs about Govinda. And then Kedar Mahavir, they're giving them freedom from. This way, they're saving people from Kaivalya, the devouring mouth of liberation, giving them Krishna, giving them real life. Because the liberation they want is to just not exist anymore, because they think that that's just end the suffering. It's compared to like deep sleep or something. People take some drug or intoxication and then they pass out for some time and they wake up and think, oh, it was great. They don't remember anything. That's not real pleasure, but it's just a relief. That much time they were not conscious of their problems. And some try to achieve that as a constant state, constant intoxication. Then they end up with much bigger problems.
What about some devotees thinking that I might not be qualified or enough to actually go out and preach, so let me practice till I get.
Well, if they're thinking, I want to get qualified to go out and preach. But Lord Chaitanya and Prabhupada taught us everyone's qualified. Just whatever you know, you get that. That's why we have book distribution. That's why we have public chanting. Anyone can do it. And we were always taught, like, people ask a lot of questions, say, I don't know, but I know it's in the book. You read the book. Please, everything's in there. And when they had that faith, people would say, okay. And then we should learn, also gradually to be able to answer questions. So there's a line between really believing I'm not qualified, or thinking, well, Krishna won't help me. If we make our Bhagavatam teaching is that if you make an effort, Krishna will help. That's real humility. This low self-esteem humility is not exactly what real humility. I'm no good, I can't do that. Prabhupada said you should remain a fool in front of the Guru. That doesn't mean you're supposed to be stupid and, always do what he doesn't want you to do and say, well, I'm a fool, what can I do? I burnt everything, I burnt your chapatis, I burnt the sweet rice. I put salt in the sweet rice, but it's okay, I'm a fool. It's supposed to mean that I think I don't know, the Guru knows more than me, therefore I will just take what he says and I'll believe him. I won't, not that I'll think, well, maybe he doesn't know, I might know better, he's not from Thailand, he doesn't know. We get that in many places. he doesn't understand because this and that. I'm special. My problems that he doesn't know. My problem is special. That kind of thing is not, isn't what it means. All right? Yeah.
When Prabhupada says pure devotees in his books, does he mean the Madhyamadikari?
Prabhupada said pure devotee can be in any one of those. It can be Madhyam, it can be Kanishta, it can be, if his motive is for Krishna. If he doesn't have material motives, that's pure. It's kind of an interesting point. Some people think pure devotee have to be like an harmony. It just means it's just trying to serve Krishna, not trying to make any gain in the material world. So it can be on any level. And if that's the motive of whatever they're doing, I want to please Krishna, then they'll make advancements. One time someone asked Prabhupada, how many pure devotees are there? Prabhupada said, how many people are in ISKCON? They're all pure devotees. Because they're connected to the pure devotee, trying to serve the pure devotee. Someone may not be doing that. Someone may join the society in impoverished countries just to steal things. That happened in India so many times until the devotees learned how to watch out for them. And somebody may join just because they're poor and they need to eat and sleep. My godbrother in Bombay, Haridas, who's one of the one of the best devotees, and so humble and dedicated. He works so hard to spread Krishna consciousness with his ITV, television, broadcasting all over the world in so many different ways, and filming all the events. But he was in jail in Bombay. He was some kind of petty thief. And he saw a picture of Prabhupada, and he saw that Prabhupada had a big gold watch. He thought, I'm going to go steal that. And he actually walked all the way to Jugal on the other side of Bombay, even though he's crippled. And he met devotees, and I guess he was pretending. But then he met Prabhupada, but he changed, and he just wanted to serve. Prabhupada paid special attention to him because he was Bengali. And Prabhupada could see his heart, And so later when he was talking to Prabhupada, he said, Prabhupada, I came here just to steal your watch. Prabhupada said, oh, you didn't have to steal it. I would have given it to you. He said, no, I don't. He said, do you want it? He said, no, you don't need it. I don't need it now. And he just wanted to serve him. So he's really dedicated his life. And I talked to him, I know him very well. And he said, I have to pay back Prabhupada. And that's why I work so hard to help. He's also close to 70 years. He has, a lot of health problems. But he just works so hard. He's done so much to broadcast. So, there's so many, you can watch all the Bombay Temple all the time on the cell phone or on, so many events. He films real professionally because he worked in Bollywood for some time. First, he made all the Bollywood people life members, but then by so much association, he got into it, became an actor. But he learned all the technical stuff. So now he just uses all that for Krishna. So his motive in the beginning was not pure, but Krishna, gave him some reason to go to meet Prabhupada. So many people come for wrong reasons, but if the atmosphere is pure, they'll come up. So if they're actually trying to act in the way under the direction of Guru, they can be accepted by Krishna. Not motivated by material. Alright? Hare Krishna, welcome back. I was busy this morning. I had a 4:30 in the morning class. It was supposed to be at 6 o'clock. And then the translator didn't show up, so I just broadcasted. It's a good day. Alright. Srimad Bhagavatam, ki jai. Srila Prabhupada, ki jai.
Is it discount on the flying Maharaj?
One viewer.